transmuted into the butterfly, that it looks very dark. It looks very much filled with doom and despair, because that's the caterpillar's perspective. That's the caterpillar sees the birth of a new earth, the birth of the butterfly, as doom. But again, it's really key, of quote, A Course in Miracles, again, where it says the end of the world is not its destruction, but its translation into heaven. So again, we are called to be the translators, to translate what's happening into a heaven-like scenario, that this process, again, of birthing a new earth demands dissolution of old forms. And so, when we began the OASIS Center for Conscious Living in Minnesota back in 1999, we used John Lennon's song, Imagine. And I'm sure many people would have a hard time imagining a world without governments, without religions, without personal ownership of property, all these things. But this is in fact what we see happening in the world very rapidly, a breakdown of these long-time structures and making room for something new. Just imagine the elimination of money. As an example, a lot of people can't really fathom, well, what would that look like to live in a world without money? Well, I think we will be shown. And it's important, again, because it looks to many people, because they're attached to these old forms, like something very negative is happening, that we, some of us that have the ability to do so, again, bring appreciation and even enthusiasm to this amazing process, okay, this dance of duality. So it's been very important for me in my personal development to develop a very deep relationship with the feminine principle that exists within me, within all of us, as well as the more inherent masculine principle that would speak out and work really hard for change and all of that. But the feminine is equally important. So within me and hopefully within all of us, we can find this balance, this harmony between these principles, and understand, appreciate both of them equally, and see that, just like in birthing a child, it takes the masculine and the feminine to come together to procreate a new being. It's interesting that this is one other aspect that we're going to find in the future. It's probably not likely. It's not likely that humans will be produced through the procreation of two humans. We'll shift to a way that we do this scientifically in another way. And this is again just part of our evolution as a species, that we would look at the technology that comes from our masculine intelligence, and hopefully in harmony with our feminine spirituality and devotion to Mother Earth and the birthing and care of the child, that these two forces will still work together to do the very best for the future of our species. So again, interesting times, powerful times, very important to keep holding the light that looks at this dance of duality. Just look at the play that's been happening, at least especially in North America, but really all around the world, between these two very dark forces, or powerful forces, I should say. But in the words of the Taoism, half of this duality looks very dark, and so it looks like it wants to destroy our world, destroy our species. And in fact, evolution would demand, because evolution always wins, that nothing's destroyed. Things are simply transmuting into something better, something, again, beyond the imagination of our grandparents and most of our parents, and probably still most of us can't really see the good coming from all of this. But if we align ourselves with this very powerful, many thousands of years old ancient wisdom, it speaks very clearly to the reality that the Tao, or God, or whatever you want to call this energetic principle, it has things well in hand. You know, again, we know this, I know this, when we participate fully with it, when we're fully actively participating in this amazing evolutionary process, we come to know it in our heart of hearts that only good will arise from all of the chaos. It's been ordained, it was part of my personal destiny to know this, to know that I would be a significant player in this dynamic process, and to trust. You know, again, this is, you know, part of the call that we have, just like the call for patience is the call for trust. Okay, so the feminine patience, the masculine trust. Can we know that this is happening? Can we know that this is a good thing? That all of this is moving forward? That, again, evolution, to me, I would use the word evolution maybe to describe how the Tao, the greater principle, manifests in our world as evolution. We're evolving, changing at a very rapid rate. And it's an exciting time, no doubt. So, you know, again, one thing I wanted to mention is that, you know, one of the things we'll talk about more and more is this process of dissolution, and focus more on the energy of the fire, or as much as the water, the energy of the fire, because dissolution of old forms is key. It's key. It's the trickiest part. Everybody loves the birth, you know, everybody loves to see the new child being born, but it's more difficult for people to be with death, to embrace death. And it's key. It's key. It's like they can't exist without each other. So very exciting time, very exciting process. I'm delighted to be able to spend a little bit of time each morning with you on this. And for those who are interested, we'll start having a weekly active online gathering, class, whatever you might call it, in addition to these short daily videos that I post. So those who are interested, you know, you're more than welcome to join us, to be part of the birthing, part of the solution. And, you know, it's just key to be able to be that part of the solution. It means letting go of any idea that there's a problem, that the appearance of the problem is simply evidence of the solution that is emerging. Okay, so if there weren't the quote unquote problem, there would be no reason for the solution. So you see, the problem necessitates the solution. Yeah, there's a great line, I forget where it comes from, but it says, necessity is the mother of invention. So we need, you know, we collectively have brought things to a head where we need the new solution. We need the birthing the new earth. Otherwise, we're done, and that would not make sense to me from an evolutionary standpoint. That all of our preparation for many thousands of years are bringing us to a point where, you know, we're meant to be realizing in a very quick time, because time has changed the way time operates now versus 500 or 5,000 years ago. Time is operating in a much different way. Okay, we could talk about the Mayan calendar and how they saw time, you know, but again, time and space are negotiable elements. And so, you know, the element of time, which is just, again, part of part of the dream, something that we're making up. We have the ability, or should I say, if we're aligned with the Tao, if we're aligned with the unmanifested, to that power, the element of time as we see it is meaningless. So what appears to be happening now in much quicker succession, quicker order, it's just the perception that we have relative to, like I say, 500 years ago or 5,000 years ago, where things would take hundreds and thousands of years to move. Now we're talking about a decade, we're talking about a year or two, we're talking about weekly. You know, it's like the element of time has totally been transformed in this process. And and you would expect that, you know, as the minds did, that you know, we're coming out of time wave zero. We're just in the second era, second Khatum as it comes out of that. And so we're talking about something happening, as much happening in 8 years as would happen in 25,000 years in another Khatum or era. So this is it. You know, we're in it, 2021. This process by the end of this decade, as we count time, is it. This is the birthing matrix. We're in it. We're vitally in it. And I just encourage everybody to see it all as miraculous, as beautiful, and accept our role truly as masters, to be able to step up and be so bold as to claim that, because that is what we're called to do. You know, Jesus said it 2,000 plus years ago. He said, you know, you collectively, you will do far greater things than I could ever have done, because in his Khatum, things were moving very slowly. Well, this is now the second coming of the Christ energy, and it is destined to be successful. So align yourself with that and have a great day, because it's happening. It's beautiful, and I love you so much. Hasta mañana.